Okay, so I've got a really creepy theory, and it might spook you out. It goes like this. With these missing and dead people who have strange CCTV footage, right, this sounds bonkers. I think they're actually dead in the footage. I think what we're seeing is actually their spirit. Now let me explain. Like, you've got the Elisa Lam case where she was found dead in a hotel water tank. You're probably going to have to Google these cases if you don't know them. These are cases that once I get a bee in my bonnet, I have to research them constantly, and I mean constantly, for like months at a time. I just don't stop. Anyway, she was found dead in a hotel water tank, and there was some really bizarre footage of her in a lift. In the footage, she's acting really weird. People tried to blame it on bipolar, drugs, drink, anything they could. But if you watch the footage, she seems to be communicating with something that isn't there. Flapping her arms around as if, sort of like, where am I? I can't get past this barrier. As if she's like caught in another dimension. Now recently you've got the Kanika Jenkins case where she's also been filmed in a hotel wandering the corridors. She was found dead in a freezer in the hotel kitchen. People say it was an accident, but if you research it, it's such a rabbit hole of weird conspiracies, such as her friends sold her, and there's even talk of her organs were stolen for the black market, and nobody really knows yet. But on the footage of her, she's also displaying weird behaviour, which I don't think is down to drink. I think also she could be actually dead in this footage, and not knowing she's dead, she's stumbling around the corridors thinking she's alive and wondering where the fuck she is, basically. And then you have Corrie, the airman that went missing a year ago. Now, we don't know if he's dead or not. I've done lots of psychic readings on him and spirit box, and according to them he is. I do trust my spirit box and stuff. Rumour has it he's just basically gone AWOL and fucked off, and I don't get that. I do think he is dead. Now, if you watch the footage of him, he is seen walking down a street looking extremely puzzled. He looks up at the camera as if to say, where am I? Yes, again, he's drunk, but not so drunk that he's falling over. I think, has he just left his body recently, just bore you see him in the footage, and he's in limbo? Why not? It's possible. These people, these spirits are being captured on CCTV. They say that, people that are killed unexpectedly, i.e. they don't have a natural death, or they don't They don't die from illness. They don't know they're going to die. If it's murder, an accident, they don't know they're dead. They wander in limbo. That's why people like me are called out, and we have to deal with haunted houses. We have to tell these spirits, you know, you're dead. You need to move on. Why can't it be caught on CCTV reliving or carrying on the night that they were killed? So, probably not explaining this well. I know what I mean. Because you get some spirits we deal with are the time recording spirits, which are the ones which are actually ghosts, we call them. The ones that don't interact. It's a stone tape theory. So what it is you get a spirit that constantly repeats its actions every time it's seen. So you'll see a woman, she's seen in the same place every time, doing the same thing over and over again like a video. If you were to call her, she wouldn't react. That's a time recording. It's just like watching an old VHS tape, and the theory is that stone walls soak up these recordings and play it back like a video, and over time they get older and older, and that's how the spirit, it's first off seen really clear and solid, and then over time it gets more and more transparent till eventually it's not seen at all. Like you get the grey ladies in mansions. Originally when they're first seen, like hundreds of years ago, they're solid, they're in colour. Then over time, as the tape wears out, it then turns into like sad black and white photo, then it turns into grey, then it turns into white, then it turns into barely visible, and then it's no longer seen. That's the stone tape theory. So what you're seeing on this footage of these people's last moments, their spirit moments, I believe. Say you were to go back to Bury St Edmunds on the anniversary that Corrie was last seen, would you see him, as you did in the footage, every year, doing the same thing, looking up at the camera, with his hands in his pockets like he does, and then he walks off one way, comes back, then disappears down an alleyway? Would you keep seeing that, and then over time he would become less colourful, then he'd go grey, then he'd be transparent, and then in 100 years you'd not get any reports of him again? Anyway, that's what that theory's been going around my head for a while, and it's you might never look at these CCTV footages in the same light again, as if they're not creepy enough. I dare you to now go and look at the Elisa Lam footage, the Kanika Jenkins footage, and Corrie mackeage footage, and imagine that you're looking at a spirit, not a live person, and see how you feel about it now. You know, why not? Could have captured them as they've just left their bodies and they don't realise they're dead. That's one of my nutty paranormal theories. Yep. It's just how my brain works.